Hello and welcome to another Places of Norwich, where we'll be visiting places of Norwich basically. So I want to show you other parts of the city other than Carrow Road, and today is the 80th anniversary of VE Day, so I thought wouldn't it be cool if I just go look for World War II things today. Now you can't get more World War II than here on Durham Road. You see this building here. This is, you can see like there's the chimney here. There's two slots down here. That's where the chimney breast was. That's right. This used to be a house right here, hit by a bomb in 1942, I believe, during the Baedeker raids, when the Nazis decided to try and obliterate British morale and just aim for anything from churches to houses. But yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? It's not just this area, by the way, not just here on Durham Road. See this this whole area here, this grassy area, that used to be a house. That Tesco's there was a pub that was obliterated. Over there, another empty area with advertising boardings there. That also used to be a house. A load of houses there, hit by the Blitz. So yeah, I'm going to have a look for places like this around Norwich. So I hope you enjoy the little walk I'm going to make. I've just reached St. Benedict Street, and just off it there's a little park just here, surrounded by some housing, and behind me is the tower of St. Benedict's Church. Now this was hit during World War II, and this is all that's left of it. Yeah, look at this thing, it's quite impressive. It just peeks out. It's kind of hidden though. I didn't even know it was here before. Let me just have a look around. Yeah, there's the, if we go around then, on the other side, this was the actual church, would have been round here. Strange, and it's sad. As you can see, look, there's a plaque there. It says destroyed by enemy air raids in 1942. Not the first, of course, and it's one of many we're gonna visit in a minute. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just here, just feels like it's random. Just houses. Look at this. It's just hidden behind all these housing. Anyway, let's go find the next spot. Now you couldn't have a World War II walk without stopping by at the War Memorial, the city's War Memorial. It's a nice one, isn't it? And then round the back is this. So that's an interesting sculpture, but behind that is of course City Hall, which, as you can see, is ready for VE Day with all the flags out. But during the war, Hitler actually spared this building, because this building was only built just a few years before the war, and Hitler for some reason had plans for this place, so it was spared. So I guess we can thank him for that. But the other places around here weren't so fortunate. There's the Forum there. So the site of the Forum was a library before that, but before that was built in the 1960s was some other buildings, and that area was also destroyed during the war. So yeah, so it's kind of strange, isn't it? That got destroyed, then the library was built, and that was destroyed in a fire in the 90s. Now we got this place, the Forum, our public library. I am now on Theatre Street, and behind me is an M&S, of course, but during the war there were buildings here they're gone as well. And I think, you know, weren't many places in Norwich that wasn't hit. So yes, what a radical change this is. Completely different. So just up the slope from where I was is Chantry Place, and I want to point out something here. It always fascinated me, and I'm like, what is that thing? It looks like a bomb, doesn't it? And I wonder if that is a memorial to the victims of the Blitz, you know. But yeah, that's what I think it is anyway. You can correct me in the comments below. These things here, yeah, this area that's now cordoned off was the Marsh House, but before the Marsh House, which was an office building, there was a railway station here, one of 3 stations that were in Norwich. This one here would have been Victoria Station, and this one here was absolutely pelted by the bombs, and unfortunately it's no longer here. It's not much left, so I wonder if I can find some parts of it left. Right, I'm now currently standing, I think, on an old railway bridge. I also just see something over that side. Let me have a look. Oh, look at this. See, I found something. Looks like an old railway bridge from the old Victoria Station. And I think I see another one behind it as well. You see it right behind and on the other side. Wow, I wonder if I can get on this. I'm underneath it now. Look at this, I'm underneath. Like some stalactites going on, forming there. I don't think I can get on it from this way. Oh well. I am now walking through Sainsbury's car park, and I want to point out that this building that Sainsbury's on was an old coal shed used by the train station. And I want to show you something really cool. Hang on. What do you think this reminds you of, guys? They built this on purpose, Sainsbury's. I don't know why. Doesn't this remind you of an old train station? And of course, this was what it was. Wow. A little further down. A little nod. That's really cool, isn't it? I bet most of you didn't even know that. The church behind me is St. Julian's. This was the site where a mystic in medieval times called St. Julian, not of the same name by the way, she stayed here and saw visions of God and did other things, but I'm not into that. Sorry, I'm not knowledgeable. But what I do know is it was hit. This church was hit by a bomb in World War II, and it was absolutely destroyed. But amazingly, they actually pieced it all together from the rubble, and it was, yeah, it looks good as new. Amazing, isn't it? It's funny what you can find on Google Maps, I tell you. So I was walking around St. Julian's there, and apparently there was a site just around the corner. So there's the walk-in centre for the NHS there, and also like there's some housing here. But what I didn't know, just down the steps here, a war memorial. Look at this! Oh my word! I didn't even know this was here. Yeah, that. So this is for both World Wars plus the Korean Wars. This is a memorial dedicated in memory of employees of the 4 Norwich brewery companies who gave their lives in basically the wars there, all the wars. Look at that, this is absolutely, I didn't know this place was here. Look at that. That's World War One. And then there's World War II. Not so many, it looks like, but wow, this is a little spot, isn't it? More. Wow, this is amazing what you can find, isn't it? I have now made my way to Carrow Hill and to the site of the first victims of the war here in Norwich in 1940 and the 9th of July. 5 employees of Coleman's were killed by bombs here during a raid that was not detected by the sirens. In fact, the sirens were one of the sirens was actually destroyed by one of the bombs, so ironic. Yeah, so it's sad, isn't it? This is probably the first victims here in Norwich, the civilian casualties. And they were just heading to work to Coleman's, just down the road here. How sad. Also at Carrow Hill is this part of the wall here, of the medieval wall, and I think this is Wilderness Tower. During that first raid in 1940, one stray bomb hit the tower, Wilderness Tower right here, and it destroyed part of the wall just a little bit further down, but still stands today. I think it had some repair jobs since then, of course. But yes, still here, been here for centuries, and it's probably going to be here a few centuries more. There you are then, this is the Wilderness Tower here, look. And as you can see, there's a massive gap between there and the other section of wall, just there. So that's where the part of this was destroyed by the bomb during that first raid on Norwich in 1940. I have now reached Carrow Road, but it's not Carrow Road I'm really focusing on. It's actually that building over there. It might be that building, but where that is was the site of Bolton and Paul's factory. And Bolton and Paul, if you didn't know who they were, they made a lot of things made of metal, especially like from buckets to aeroplane parts. And it's the aeroplane parts and other things like that that Hitler wanted to destroy first in that 1940 raid, and that was the target. And of course, yeah, it did hit and people did die, sadly, but it's still, I don't even know if this is the actual building, but I might have to check it out. But yeah, it was Bolton and Paul who are actually responsible for Carrow Road, because without them, because Carrow Road was on a plot of land which Bolton and Paul actually owned, so they allowed them to build there once the nest was crumbling, so that's where they went. This could very well be the original building. I have no idea. Comments below if you know, but yeah, it looks really old and forgotten now. Neglected. But yeah, interesting building and an interesting company. So behind me is Norwich Station. It's the last of our 3 stations that was here in Norwich. It's the only one surviving, and it was no stranger from the bombings either. So in those early raids in 1940 and 1941, so workers here were also killed in those bombing raids in the 1940s. And there's a plaque inside if you want to look at it on the wall just as you head out of the train station. And finally, the Norwich Cathedral, obviously a symbol of Norwich, but it also played a part in during the war. Underneath the cathedral grounds is an air raid shelter that was built in just 1 month. A long tunnel underneath, and it's still down there. I can't go down it, unfortunately, without permission. But also around the grounds where US airmen came here for R&R. They also marched around the school grounds, and part of the school also blew up during one of the raids, unfortunately. But you know, the cathedral itself has stood the testament of time and the bombs, and you know, it's probably all thanks to the people who lived here at that point. They kept calm and carried on, and also up on the front line, they carried on and we won eventually. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be celebrating V-Day today, 80 years on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click that like button, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.